Welcome to the Jake Brown Podcast. I have got a fantastic show for you today. Recapping my vacation, little MotoGP preview, Horn Rapids round one of the Northwest Motorcycle Association outdoor season starts this weekend. It's going to be great. Let's get to it.
If any of you sons of bitches got anything else to say, now's the fucking time!
Oh man, I am so rested. I'm so rested right now. I got so much rest the past week in beautiful Jamaica. Oh, it was lovely. So much fun. It was so nice to just get out of the Northwest for a little while. It was so needed. If you have the opportunity during the winter to fucking leave and get some sun, do it. 100% do it. Don't talk about it. Just go to Orbitz or wherever you plan your trips. I like to use Orbitz. They are not a sponsor of the show, but Orbitz, hello, if you would like to sponsor this show, get a hold of me at Jake Brown Pod. You can just DM on Twitter or Instagram, and let's set something up. I use you guys constantly. So wherever you plan your trips, man, just pick somewhere and just go. Whether it's international or domestic, there are so many amazing places in this country and around the world that during our winter are quite lovely. So pick one, pick two, fuck it, go. Bring your kids or leave them at grandma's. I don't care. Do something during the winter that is going to benefit your mental health. And for me, anymore, I feel like the older I get, the more I just need to get out of Washington during the winter. So Jamaica was interesting to say the least. I think I got myself all sorts of worked up because of the travel advisory for murder and rape that our government put out for Americans traveling to Jamaica. So I was all fucking paranoid the whole time. I'm not really sure. My girlfriend told me there was the advisory, but our window to cancel the trip for a refund and pick someplace else had passed. So we were both just like, fuck it. Like we're chilling at the resort anyway. We're not trekking out into the jungle to get chopped up and raped and murdered. That was not gonna be an option. We were not going out into the jungle. So maybe I was a little paranoid more than I care to admit. But man, once we got there, and you feel that humidity just in the airport. Like that as soon as you're exiting the plane, the second that you step out of the plane into that little breezeway, and there's always that little gap between the plane and that big thing they drive over to stick over the door so we can walk out, but you always get blasted like with the hot air that comes up through that little tiny gap. I could feel the humidity just pouring through that little space, and I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah, babe, this is great, this is going to be great. The resort was it was different. I had never done an all-inclusive resort before. First time. And to me, here's how I described it. It was like being on a cruise, except you don't go anywhere. That's what an all-inclusive is like. You're just kind of there, you know? You're just there all day. I mean, we went out one day. We walked around a little bit. We stuck on this main road and did a little bit of shopping, not very much. Uh, God, you honestly, like, you couldn't go more than shit 50, 100 feet without literally anyone sitting on the side of the road or a bench or the sidewalk trying to sell you drugs. It was pretty amazing. And I'm talking drugs. I'm not talking weed, like fucking nose candy. I mean, I didn't ask if they had heroin or meth or mushrooms or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure I could have found someone to source me anything that I wanted to snort, inject, or chew up and swallow. I don't think it'd be that hard. Not in Jamaica. Not hard at all. So, it was an interesting day. That day we went out and walked around. I may or may not have followed a drug dealer that I had legally purchased marijuana from, which is probably why I trusted him, which was stupid. Never trust a drug dealer, right? But he wanted us to go to this little area that where a bunch of local vendors had kind of set up shop and were selling trinkets and touristy stuff, clothes, the typical fucking keychains, magnets, stuff like that. So, you know, we walked with him for a few blocks and then he convinced me, and my girlfriend just followed. She was probably like, "Are you fucking insane? We are going to get murdered in this place." But it turned out to be fine despite my horrible judgment. We didn't buy anything cuz, obviously they don't take credit or debit. So, I didn't have any cash on me. But they were all really nice. They were just trying to sell their stuff. Um But because of the amount of drug pushers, like you're constantly being accosted, we were like, let's just hang out at the resort. Um, let's do things that I liked about the resort. Okay. Things I liked. Uh, right on the ocean. Okay. I mean, right on the ocean. Uh, the food surprisingly wasn't that bad. They did like a buffet 3 times a day, a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner buffet. But they also had a couple other restaurants that were on the property that we could go to, and close down by the beach, like where all they had a bar down there, and there were some kind of cabana type structures where you could get shade if you needed to, but they were also doing like burgers and chicken sandwiches and jerk chicken, jerk pork. So you could just go there throughout the day, even if the buffet wasn't open, or the other restaurants were on off hours, and you could at least get food. So there was plenty of food and drinks. I don't Let me forget about the drinks. There were plenty of drinks, and I didn't have too many drinks because I was just smoking weed the whole time. But I mean, you name it. You want beer, you got beer. You want shots, you got shots. Margaritas, you got it. You name it, you got it. And they had some stuff I had never even heard of that they probably just created. I had this one drink. It was called a liquid marijuana, and I don't know all the different stuff that they put in this drink, but this fucking thing was like this, almost like a radioactive glowing blue color. It was I mean, it tasted good, but they were all so sweet though. I feel like every drink they had outside of the beer was just like sugar city. Not that I really cared about how much sugar I was consuming, which will get me to the next thing that I liked. The buffet food was pretty good. Big variety. We didn't go crazy with the shit food that they had. However, they had this like a dessert bar. It was amazing, and every night it was a little bit different. Like they would keep maybe 1/3 of the stuff that they would do the next night, and not like recycle the same uneaten stuff, but they would make maybe a handful of things that they had made the night before, But then they would make the other two-thirds were all new stuff. So there's constantly new stuff, but the really good stuff, they might do 2 nights in a row. Like they did a pineapple cake for 2 nights. Oh my god. I cou I I would just it got to a point where so, like, you have your plate. I mean, I'm not trying to talk to you guys like you're fucking idiots, but, we've all done buffets before. So you got your plate and you get to the dessert part and they have a smaller plate. Well, you can't put as many desserts on a small plate, obviously. So you're having to make more trips to get more dessert. Well, that's fucking stupid. So I just was like, I'm taking 2 dinner plates. I'm putting dinner on one plate, and then I'm filling this other dinner plate with desserts. So I can make as few trips as possible and have maximum eating. And that's what I did. And there were people looking at me like I was absolutely batshit crazy. And I mean, I was high as a kite, which is why like I couldn't control. I had zero, I mean, zero control when it came to that dessert bar. Oh my God. I ate myself sick probably 3 nights, 4 nights in total. I just ate myself sick. I mean, they had a tiramisu cake one night. Are you shitting me? A tiramisu cake? Ugh. It was so good. It was so good. That was that right there. Like aside from the warm water and the sun and the heat, like having an all you can eat dessert bar literally 3 times a fucking day. I mean, they had desserts out there at breakfast too. You know, the, breakfast desserts are arguably better than lunch or dinner time desserts. Like, what's the best way to wake up? Dessert. So we get up and we go down to breakfast and there's like banana bread and there's bread pudding and they made like this rum sauce to put over the top of the bread pudding. Well, I just started one night I put the rum sauce on other stuff. I was like, this rum sauce is good on just about everything that they're serving here. So I was like, I don't want any more bread pudding, but I'll put some of this rum sauce on some cake. I'll put it wherever. It was delicious. So I was ridiculously happy that the food met. I mean, I don't really have high expectations, for all inclusive buffet style food, but I was really surprised at how good the food was. Lots of fresh fruit. That was a cool thing, they're getting like local stuff. Um, so the fruit that they had there was just so good. It was so good. I was, I mean, what did I eat? I ate a ton of chicken. I ate a ton of desserts, and I ate a ton of fruit. Oh, and their coffee was. They have. I don't remember the. I meant to take a picture of the brand that they use, but it was this local Jamaican coffee. Holy shit! You talk about strong. Like that is some leaded coffee. That coffee is leaded. Oh my god. Your eyes are pinging after that stuff. It was delicious. So I very happy with the food. No complaints. Um, the beach, it was kind of divided. They had a couple of sections of beach, and one I think I described it as it was the MTV Spring Break beach. Like fucking DJ, fucking loud music, just thumping. They're playing like trivia games with people, fucking dance competition. I was like, "No, absolutely not. I am way too old for that. I have zero fucking desire to be on basically the set of an MTV Spring Break shoot. No desire for that. So if you walk further down, there's a nice quiet what I thought of as the old people beach, and you can still hear the music from the spring break side, but it's not near the same. So we hung out there an overwhelming amount of the time. God, the water was so warm. It was so clear. God, you just sit in that water for hours if your skin didn't prune out. I mean, it was unbelievable. I don't like, I've been in some warm ocean water in my life, uh, even compared to like Hawaii. This stuff was, this was bathtub water. It was unbelievable and crystal clear. And you could walk way out there, like way out. You're still touching. It was so much fun. Uh, what else did I really enjoy about it? Uh, I made a friend while I was there because I have this weird ability to whistle and it sounds like a bird. Well, there was like an on-site, like some fucking parrot kind of bird, and I would whistle at this bird, and this bird would whistle back and like mimic the whistles that I was doing. So I'd get baked, and then I'd just start talking to this bird and whistle talk, and this bird would start talking back to me, and it was hilarious. And then I'd go down to this bird and and try to talk to it again, and he'd just look at me. Although the last night that we were there, this bird started. I started copying the movements of the bird, and then the bird started copying my movements. So I bonded with this bird. I made a friend. I've now got a friend in Jamaica, and that the next time I go there, I will at least know uh, a living creature. I don't know any other living creatures there, but I know this bird. This is a very nice bird. I would never want to get a bird. I mean, they're filthy, and people just keep them in the house. But this one was outside, and it looks like it was a pretty easy cage to clean. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed all that. Things I did not like, or things that I found a little odd. The hotel had essentially zero water pressure, so muggy as hell. The air conditioner barely worked, and then if you wanted to rinse off, either to get the salt off your body from the ocean, or you're just sweating, like there was like almost no water pressure. So it made shaving a little difficult. How the hell are you going to clean your razor out like if there's no water coming out of the faucet? Um, I did think it was interesting, and I kind of assumed it would be like this going into it. The number of absolutely unhealthy giant North Americans, and I say North Americans because this was a Canada, United States fucking all star team. Like we joined forces, down there. The number of absolutely out of shape giant people who were constantly shoving food and drink into their face holes was, I shouldn't be surprised, but it was absolutely fucking shocking. It was absolutely shocking. I mean, and like, look, I get it. Life happens. Sometimes things just get out of hand from a fitness standpoint. This was way past that. There was one individual in particular. I thought this person was going to die every time they came out of the ocean. Double fisting drinks, mind you. This man was probably 400 pounds. And I'm not exaggerating. And sunburned because he couldn't even get sunscreen all the way around himself. I don't understand how you can live your life like that. I mean, I guess it's easy, you just see food, eat food. And that's exactly what was taking place uh, at this resort. Seafood, eat food. It was, everything's very, time oriented there. You have certain windows when the buffet is open, certain windows when, the restaurants would be open. And I just, I kind of just started cracking jokes where it's like, it's time to eat. It's 7 a.m. It's time for breakfast. It's time to get up. It's time to get first meal of the day. It's lunchtime. It's time to eat. It's 12 o'clock. Buffet is open. Make your way to the lunchroom. Like, this is how it was. It's just everything that you do there revolves around food and alcohol and just being a fucking lazy piece of shit laying on the beach. And I'm all for it. I was 100% partaking in the festivities of stuffing food in my face and having a couple drinks here or there just to kind of cool down a little bit. Look, fucking guilty, guilty as charged. I was partaking as much as anyone, but you really do kind of feel like cattle. Like you do, you feel like cattle when you're in there. At one, like the last night we were there, we'd smoked a little hippie lettuce. I think we probably had a glass or two of wine, and we actually waited a little bit to go down to dinner because we knew see what I'm doing, I sounded like a cow. We knew there would be a ton of people in the dinner lounge, so we waited like, I don't know, a half hour, let stuff kind of clear out, get the first wave of people out of there, and there was a line that was backed up almost to the entrance of the building, and we just immediately started laughing. Just it was the funniest shit ever because it was just such a tourist, such an American spectacle to see just all these giant people just shoveling enormous amounts of food into their face holes every single day, day after day after day. It was unbelievable. Um Oh, and we almost saw some lady get murdered in the courtyard beneath our room. So that by her boyfriend. Yeah, that was interesting. Here kind of a weird thing, 3 hour time difference. So coming from the West Coast, my sleep is shit anyway. But you put me off by 3 hours. During the night I was just awake a lot. Well, I hear some lady just screaming bloody murder like down in the courtyard. And mind you, this place has security, so full security staff. Okay, so this isn't my fucking problem. But I hear some lady screaming, you know, give me back my phone and get away from me and stop touching me. And I'm like, oh, and this is 3:34 in the morning. Okay. So I look down, I see two people. I see a man and a woman, and the woman is at first, the woman is chasing this guy, screaming at him to give back her phone. Okay. Screaming at him. Mind you, it's 3:34 in the morning. Hotel rooms are surrounding this courtyard. All right. 4 or 5 stories up. 4 stories up. So everyone's now waking up, I feel like. There's no way they weren't waking up. People are waking up. So I'm watching. Then all of a sudden, she comes sprinting back the other way. And now he's chasing her. And she's yelling, get the fuck away from me. Don't touch me. And I'm like, where is security? Like, what is security doing? I know they are downstairs. We'd see them every day and every night. We would see the security guards. Okay, and there's no way you couldn't hear this woman screaming her head out. Okay, you could hear her from probably a mile away. Then they both go back into a breezeway toward, I'm guessing, their room. And you could hear more screaming. And then she comes sprinting out and she goes to the main lobby and you hear more screaming. And then he comes running after her again. And there's more screaming. And then pretty soon it goes quiet. So I'm thinking, okay, well, security, because now they're up by the front office. So security has to be dealing with this at this point. No, nobody was dealing with it. Because when we got up to go to breakfast the next morning, we saw the guy at that point getting walked out in handcuffs by the police. So it had been like another 4.5 hours before anyone did anything. So is there a lesson to be learned here? I don't know. Maybe just don't assume that security is going to do their fucking job. But then what am I going to do? Am I going to run down there? Why do I got to run down there? I wasn't running down. Well, I wasn't running anywhere. I was so full on cake. If I would have confronted that guy, and let's just say that he punched me in the stomach somehow, like somehow he was able to hit me in the stomach, I would have thrown up probably 3 pounds of dessert right on his face. Easily. Easily 3 pounds of cake and custard and cookies. I mean, you name it. You name it, it's coming out. And I'm puking all over this dude. So, I mean, really, I did him a favor. Okay. I did him a favor by not going down there and then getting punched in the stomach and then vomiting tiramisu all over this guy. Although maybe he probably deserved it. I mean, he did get arrested, but I mean, who knows? So yeah, that was something that I really didn't care to have to witness. I didn't want to be a witness to that, and it would have been nice if security maybe would have dealt with that a few hours sooner. I think that would have been a good thing. But aside from that, vacation, big success. Big success on the vacation. One little snafu on the way back. So here's one thing that made me ridiculously happy. Okay, we left on the 13th, and then the next day it was snowing in Olympia. So I was so happy that it was snowing here, and everyone was just freezing their asses off. And I didn't even care one bit. I'm literally laying on a beach, sweating my ass off, swimming in the water, smoking hippie lettuce, just eating desserts all day and cheeseburgers. Like it was absolutely beautiful. And it made it even that much sweeter just knowing that everyone back home was not only getting dumped snow on, but the power went out as well, apparently. So it made me happy. It just made me happy. Does that make me an asshole? Absolutely. 100% that makes me an asshole. I don't even give a shit. I don't care. I don't care. Okay. I really don't care. I smiled every time I'd get on Instagram every once in a while and I just see the pictures of like, oh, it's so many hours we haven't had power and oh, it's snowing and broken branches and I just smile and then close my phone and set it down and then just roast another bowl and it was absolutely beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And then so that made me happy. The day then that we left, it was dumping rain. It was still like 85 degrees out, but it was dumping rain, dumping rain. And I was like, well, we used up all the sun. It's time to go. So unfortunately, our flight was delayed because of the weather. It got really foggy, and our plane had to go land in Kingston because it had been circling, waiting for the fog to clear out a little bit. So they go to Kingston, get more fuel, fly back. The weather's better. 2 hours later, we almost made our connecting flight in Charlotte. We literally missed it by like 2 minutes. The plane was still there. They had already sealed the door up. And they're like, yeah, no, we're not letting you on the plane. So we just grabbed some dinner, hung out at the airport, caught a flight that was 2 hours later, and boom, back home before midnight. It was fantastic. Uh, I know one thing that you're probably all wondering, uh, hey, when you were on your vacation in, sunny Jamaica, were you still doing your 100 squats and your 100 push-ups? Yeah, I was, assholes. I was still fucking doing them every day. I'd get up every day. There was like one or two nights where I was doing them later at night. But every day, usually before we go down for breakfast, we would knock out our squats and we knock out our push-ups. The only day that we didn't was the day we flew back. I should have did them in the morning. Wasn't counting on the delay and then missing the flight. And then by the time we got home, like I got to my house at midnight. So it was just a little too late at that point. So I made up for it yesterday. I did 200 squats, 200 push ups. However, I'm pissed because in my little workout log, I now have a gap. I have a gap. I have one box, the 21st, that is not shaded in because I did no exercise that day. I mean, I guess I walked. Well, really, at one point, I ran through the airport in Charlotte, but I don't count that. That was running out of necessity, not because I needed to do it for my fitness. Um, so at least I'm back on track. But it did kind of feel good to at least get the blood moving a little bit while we were there. They had a gym there, like an on-site gym. They actually had like barbells and stuff. Usually, like hotel gyms, it's just a bunch of treadmills and ellipticals and like I don't know, some dumbbells. This place had like a fucking squat rack, like an actual bench press. I mean, you could set up and do deadlifts if you wanted to. Um, I did absolutely none of that because why would I? I'm on vacation, so I'm doing the bare minimum, which was my 100 squats, 100 push-ups. I still got them in. I'm still happy with that. So that's my little vacation recap. Definitely a great. I didn't post a lot of pictures because I didn't take a lot of pictures. I think I took like 10 pictures the entire time. I posted, I think one of them. I did a time lapse of a sunset the first night we were there at Jake Brown Pod, Instagram and on Twitter. Just you can go check that out. At least get an idea of what the sunset looked like. It was absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So if you've never been to Jamaica, I definitely recommend it. I would 100% go back. I would 100% go back. It really had a great time. I think I let the travel advisory get in my head a little too much. So, feel free to ignore travel advisories unless you're traveling to like some specific places on Earth. Then maybe you should listen to them. But definitely recommend Jamaica. If you've never been, go check it out. It was so much fun. And honestly, I was a little sad to leave. I mean, I missed my dog, and like miss boxing, going to the gym. I miss, going to CrossFit and, we got dirt bike. I got dirt bike stuff coming up here. My off road season starts this weekend, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But so I was excited to get home, but man, it's just tough leaving that weather. Like when you go to places like that, whether it's, the Mediterranean or Hawaii or, Mexico or, Jamaica, any of these like real warm places, man, the gears start turning about how could I live in a place like this and either maintain the job that I have or find a new source of income to make ends meet because it's amazing mentally how much happier we all are when we see this the sunlight and you feel that heat on your skin, you get that vitamin D. It changes your whole outlook on your day as opposed to when you wake up and it's just gray and dreary and like that fucking blanket mist, misty rain bullshit. Like you just can't escape it. I hate that. I would rather it just like dump rain rather than that real thick mist. I can't stand that shit. And, there's no way that waking up and looking at dreary, dull, gray, and cold weather there's no way that doesn't affect our moods. There's just no way. I did an episode a ways back now about weather depression and now I'm convinced it's real. It's real. It's absolutely real. It is 100% real. And if you don't think it's real, go travel someplace sunny during February. Sunny and warm. It's got to be both. Because I mean, you can go to fucking Utah in winter and it'll be sunny, but it'll be freezing cold there. Go someplace tropical, sunny, warm. You see how your outlook changes. You're so happy. You can't help but be happy. You can't fucking help it. It is impossible to be in a bad mood when it's warm and sunny and you're at a beach. You can't. I dare anyone out there to prove me wrong. What you can't see is that I'm smiling right now. Because even if you do prove me wrong, I got you to go travel someplace and have some new experiences. So, really, that's a win for me. All right, vacation over. Uh, this weekend, I'm so excited. Round one, out at Horn Rapids, out by Richland, of the Northwest Motorcycle Association, of their outdoor scramble season. I can't wait. I can't wait to get there. My bike's ready. I got the new rear tire on, which I think is going to do much better in the sand as opposed to just a traditional dirt tire. The weather's going to be great. I can't fucking wait to get out there. I cannot wait to get out there. So if you're in the area, feel free to stop by. The facility is called Horn Rapids. Okay, Horn Rapids. It's outside of Richland, maybe 5 miles somewhere out there, uh, way out in the high desert. Kind of, I think it's a high desert, but it's a great event. Lots of people show up for it. Last year it was absolutely packed. I race in the senior A class because I am a senior. I'm a senior. Okay. All that means is that you can't enter it if you're under 40 or over 49. There's other classes, the age range is 40 to 49, and we get to do the long course as opposed to the short course. I'm not driving all the way out there to fucking do a short course for an hour and a half plus a lap. If I'm driving all the way out there, I want the long course for 2.5 hours plus a lap. That's how those work. So these scrambles work. If you don't know, uh, I have 2.5 hours to get as many laps as I can get in that time frame, and then plus a lap, and that's what ends it. So at 2.5 hours, wherever you're at, you do one more lap, and then that's it. So I remember last year they didn't even give me. It was basically 2.5 hours, just before I was about to finish my lap, and they just said, "You're done." It's gonna. They were like, "You're done. You didn't win." And they weren't just telling that to me. There was a lot of us. They're like, "You guys are done. We're not gonna sit here while you spend the next, fucking 45 minutes trying to do another lap. We're done. You guys are pack it in. Go turn your punch card in. You're done." So it's a good time though. So if you're out in that neck of the woods, uh, first and foremost, you should be racing. So definitely look into it. Again, it's the Northwest Motorcycle Association. They have an Instagram page. They're on Facebook, or just go to their website. Come out and race. There's plenty of classes for your age, for your bike, for your ability level. You'll get slotted in somewhere where you're gonna be battling people who are at your level. Okay. You may be out on track with people who are, the people racing for money, the real fast people, but in reality, you are racing the people in your class. So, you're not getting compared to the people in the open class or the AA class. Um, you're just getting scored against people who are in your class. Um, but if you want to come out and watch, I think it's one of the better places to view a lot of these races I do, the lap takes you just way out from the pits and you're just gone for most of the lap. But this one, you can actually see quite a bit of the course, I feel like. There's a lot of places to stand and you can watch, including the motocross track, where the motocross track is actually part of the lap itself. So, we finish a lap by riding around the motocross track before we get stamped and then we're taken off for the next full lap. But it's a good event. It's a great time. Um, Come check it out, either to watch, but really just go buy a dirt bike, and come race. So much more fun. Who likes to just go watch stuff? Like when I go watch sporting events, I'm like, fuck this. I want to do it. I want to do it. That's why I have a hard time. I think that last year I didn't go watch any road racing the the entire season. I didn't go out to the Ridge or Pacific or down to Portland. I didn't go one time, not to watch a race or even to a track day, because I knew I would just get the itch to, fucking go drop 40 grand on a whole new program again. And I was like, fuck that. I'm not doing that. So I had to police myself and my inability to say no to motorcycles, which is almost which is almost as strong as my inability to say no to fucking cake and pie and pudding and custard and oh man, that tiramisu cake. I dream about that still. And that pineapple cake. Those are the two best cakes they had. And don't get me wrong. The cheesecakes they had were really good. They did like a different cheesecake every night. They were really good. But this pineapple cake and this tiramisu cake, I mean, between you and me, off the record, I might have killed someone for that stuff. This is off the record. I'm saying this to you. Don't tell anybody. Okay? Don't tell anyone that I'm saying this. Okay? Shh. I would have murdered for that pineapple cake. I'd fucking murder for that tiramisu. Give me all the tiramisu. If I could have walked away with that entire platter and just went back to the room and ate piece by piece, I would have did it. But there's no way they would have let me out of that dining hall with a whole tray of tiramisu cake. Like that's how good it was. When you contemplate a felony over dessert, you've got a problem. You have got a problem at that. I have a problem at this point in my life. I'm justifying a felony for some cake. I got a problem. And if you don't know me, I'm just kidding. I'm not murdering anybody for some fucking pineapple cake. I'm trying something a little different with my diet, and we're going to see if it's going to work. I don't know. I'm just so weak. I'm so weak when it comes to sugar that I don't know if I'm going to be successful. I decided I want to try the carnivore diet. Show of hands out there. Is anyone out there currently doing, or is anyone out there tried the carnivore diet? Anyone? Just raise your hands. Raise your hands. Nobody? Okay. Well, if you don't know what the carnivore diet is, it's I don't know. It's exactly that. It's what carnivore like. What do fucking carnivores eat? They eat meat. All right. They eat fucking meat. So I'm just eating a shit ton of meat all day, every day. And I've heard really good things about it from people who have done it. And I still take like my supplement, my first form, my green, it's essentially just like the Opti Greens or the what's the more popular one? I don't remember the name of it. Um so I'm at least getting like those, vegetable nutritional benefits, through my powder drink, but the the foods that I'm consuming, meat. That's it. Meat. I decided when we got back, I was like, okay, now I'm serious. And I'd said I wanted to try this before, and like I started to, and then I'd get baked, and then I'd make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at like midnight. Um, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I did that last night, but like today is like the first day that I'm doing it. Yesterday was supposed to be the first day I was gonna do it, and I did kind of good up until last night, and then I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I was like, ah, fuck this. I need some sugar. But today, new mindset. I want to dedicate myself to this. I just want to try it for a month, and I'm curious to see how my body responds to it. Whether or not I lean out more, how I feel from an energy standpoint, how my brain, like, do I have like, you know, cloudy brain? Like, can I focus on stuff, or do I just feel like real distracted all the time? I'm curious to see how my workouts are going to go. Can I sustain, multiple hours of working out in a day? Um, so yeah, I haven't heard anything bad about it, from people who have done it. So I figure, fuck it, I'm gonna try it out. I think the only like non-meat thing I'm consistently eating are eggs. Uh, I guess technically eggs aren't meat, but they're just like a superfood when you think about it. Just lots of protein, get some carbs, they're great. So I'm gonna keep eating eggs. But I'm adding obviously lots of red meat. uh I'll add some fish here and there, maybe once a week. Um, and then lots of chicken. So that's really the extent of it. That's it. Well, I guess like pork and stuff like that. I did get some bacon. I do like to have some bacon in the morning once in a while. And honestly, bacon makes a good snack. And then I take the bacon grease and I pour it over my dog's food because she likes the bacon grease. I mean, who doesn't like bacon grease? All day today, my house has smelled like bacon because I cooked bacon last night. Like that scent just doesn't go away. I wish that all these companies that make candles, I wish they did like a bacon scented candle or like one that smelled like pizza or donuts or something. I mean, really, that's just absolute torture when you think about it. But I mean, my house has now smelled like fucking bacon for almost 24 hours. So I'm not complaining. So hey, man, if any of you are doing, I'm curious how it's worked out for anyone who has tried it. Maybe what you didn't like about it too. I don't just blow smoke up my ass. Like I don't need, I know what the benefits can be. I'm almost more curious about what the drawbacks of the carnivore diet are. So if you do it, hey, text me. If you have my number, text me uh, at Jake Brown Pod on Twitter and on Instagram. Shoot me a DM, or you can post up on Twitter underneath this episode specifically. Uh, you know, I'm curious as to how it's worked out for anyone out there who has tried it. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna. I was gonna talk more about some MotoGP and some World Superbike, but I think I'm gonna save that for my next episode because I'm already at 47 minutes and I got some other shit I got to do today. Um, Hey, it feels so good to be back doing podcasts again. I I did seriously debate maybe doing an episode from the beach, like while I was there, but ultimately that was not going to happen. I was in La La Land at that point. Um, I hope everyone had a great week while I was gone. And hey, the sun's out. Literally, the sun is out right now in Washington. So go outside, get some sun on your skin. I know it's cold, but just even if it's on your face, man, just get that sun on your face. Go for a walk, get a good workout in, cook some healthy food tonight. You know, kiss your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Maybe I don't know, play some cards, do something fun. Don't just sit around fucking watch TV and play on your phones. That's stupid. Go live and just go be healthy and happy. All right. I'll probably get to another episode maybe probably next week. So until then, I hope everyone does great and I will talk with you later.